What's up, champions? Back again. The final podcast, Motivation to Elevation podcast of 2016. I'm excited. I trust that you all have had a peaceful holiday. I can't say mine was peaceful, but nevertheless, we're here. And we're about to bring it. Hey, what's up, Jamise? You finally get to see it live. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you get to see it live. So I trust everybody's day has been going well. It's the last one of 2016. And I hope that I know that this topic is going to be valuable to you all. What's up, cuz? I've been chomping at the bit all day. Had a crazy day at the gig, but nevertheless, we're gonna end this day right. We're gonna end this year right. I've been loving these podcasts and being able to, just do what I love to do what God has blessed me to do. It took me a long time to find my gift, but I found it. Hey, what's up, Pierre? Glad you can join us. Gonna let some people know that I'm live and we're gonna get this going because, I like to start on time and I like to end on time. I don't like to be all day. Absolutely. Yeah, trouble only lasts a little while. It's how we respond to it. Hey, Sonia, I don't know if you know this, but Chris actually did this beat that you're listening to. So I gotta shout out the homie Chris for doing this beat. Yeah, that's what's up. So, just keeping it in the family. But nevertheless, hey, champions, welcome to tonight's edition of the Motivation to Elevation podcast. This will be the final one of 2016. I am excited to see 2016 end. I'm just going to be honest with you. This has not been, it's been a character building year. For me. And oh, hey, Oksana, glad you could join us. But nevertheless, for those who are just tuning in for the first time, my name is Arian Tyson, and I am streaming live from my office here in St. Louis, Missouri. And I'm just going to speak from the heart, as I often always do, because we all need motivation, we all need inspiration, but we also all need to be challenged. Oh, my mom and T made it on time. Yeah, you made it on time. You made it on time. Nevertheless, let's dive in. I want to talk today because, this year is coming to an end. And I know that we've had a lot of celebrity deaths over the last couple of days. And we've lost a lot of people. So for many people, including myself, we're just waiting on the year to end. And we're looking forward to 2017, Lord willing. But I want to talk about why you must define yourself in 2017. And for those that don't know, we are in the midst of Kwanzaa. And so this is the second day of Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa basically is a week-long celebration normally held in the U.S. and in other nations in the Western African diaspora in the Americas. And the celebration honors African heritage in African American culture and is observed normally from December 26th, which was yesterday, to January 1st, which is New Year's Day. And it culminates in a feast and gift giving. And Kwanzaa, for those who don't know, has 7 principles. Umoja, which means unity. I had this word. I'm not even trying to pronounce it. I had it and it's just on the tip of my tongue, but I'm not going to even butcher it. But the second principle means self-determination. And then you have Ujima, which means collective work and responsibility. And then you have Ujama, which is referring to cooperative economics. And then you have Nia, which means purpose. And you have Kumba, which means creativity. And then finally, Imani, which is the 7th principle, which means faith. Now, all of those words are in Swahili. Okay. But the second principle, because this is the second day of Kwanzaa, is referring to self-determination. And it got me thinking, why is self-determination so important? Well, see, today we must affirm our determination to create, name, and define our lives for ourselves instead of allowing others to do this for us. Here's why. Because the mind rules the body. Everything starts in the battlefield of the mind. To the extent when the mind is conquered, then the body follows. And even psychological warfare is a very potent form of combat. Propaganda, for example, is information, often masked as entertainment, that attempts to elicit a specific behavior. The message from the Spike Lee film, Do the Right Thing, is self-determination. And even the theme song from the movie, which was Public Enemy's Don't Believe the Hype, warns us not to fall for propaganda. Television, or as I like to call it, tell-lie vision, is a potent tool of propaganda. And to the extent that we ignore many of the images it projects into our minds and go on our way, we practice self-determination. And our young people who stay in school avoid drugs and alcohol and stay away from environments of which the police are involved. They're practicing self-determination, believe it or not, in the face of determined propaganda onslaughts. For example, Dr. Martin Luther King, even in his criticizing of the war in Vietnam, even though it cost him his government support and put his life in jeopardy, practiced self-determination. The late, great Muhammad Ali, I mentioned a lot of people have died, in 2016, in refusing to be drafted, and was used as a propaganda tool for the government to use to enlist black soldiers in the war in Vietnam. Practice self-determination. It cost him the heavyweight title and the right to fight for 4 years in his prime, but Ali never flinched. And that's what really makes him so great. It's not because he was dominant in the boxing ring, but because he stood with the courage of his convictions. He stood for the courage of his convictions. That's what made him the greatest. That's why he is still universally recognized as the greatest. And in order to combat falling for the hype, There are some things that we got to let go of. As the current year draws to a close, ask yourself, what must I let go of in 2017? So I'm going to ask you this question. What must you let go of in 2017? And I ask myself this question. So I'm speaking over myself while I'm speaking to you. And these are some of the things that I thought about. Now all of them don't speak directly to me, but a lot of them do. And more than likely, it's going to speak to you as well. So here's some of the things that you're really going to have to let go of in 2017. And if you got a pen and pad, you might want to get that and jot this stuff down, or just listen to the replay. But here it is. Number one, you got to let go of yesterday's tragedies. You got to let it go. Here's why. Because you are not what has happened to you. You are what you choose to become in this moment. I'm going to say that again. You are not what has happened to you. You are what you choose to become in this moment. Drop the needless burden. Take a deep breath and start again. That's why so many people look forward to the new year, because it serves as a new beginning. Now, ultimately, you will know you are on the right track in life when you become disinterested in looking back and eager to take the next step forward. And absolutely, you are not your past. And that's something I say wholeheartedly. That's something I mean wholeheartedly, because you're not your past. Because if I was my past, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. Also, you have to let go of acting standoffish and unapproachable. I'm telling you this. It took me a long time to realize how important a smile was. It took me a long time to realize this. We all need to learn to be more human. Don't avoid eye contact. Don't hide behind gadgets. Smile often. That's the one I struggle with. People don't believe me, but you can ask my family. My oldest brother, Terrence, was the one that every time you looked up, he smiled. I'm not that person. I love my brother, but that ain't me. But he's comfortable in his own skin. He's always been comfortable in his own skin. However, it took me a while to get there, but better late than never, because here I am now. Ask other people about their stories. Ask people about their stories. And then when you ask them, don't ask them on the intent of being nosy. No, ask them and listen. Because I've often said that there is power in your story, and nobody can tell your story better than you. Let go of the idea that some people are below you. This is a huge one. Because even if you work really hard to get where you are in life, there's no such thing as a self-made person. I'm going to say it again. There is no such thing as a self-made person. And here's why. Because someone believed in you, encouraged you, and invested in you. And be grateful and be that someone for others too. It's called paying it forward. And the reality is, what goes around eventually will come back around. No one has ever made themselves strong in the long run by showing how small someone else is. So don't be lazy and make assumptions about people. Again, ask about their story. Then listen. Be humble. Be teachable. Be human. And like State Farm supposed to be a good neighbor. Let go of wanting to be repaid of every good deed that you do. Don't worry too much about what's in it for you. If you're making a positive contribution, ladies and gentlemen, to others, there's always something in it for you. What do I mean by that? Because you were born with the ability to change someone's life. Don't ever waste it. Be kind, be present, be someone who makes a difference. And then also, let go of any hypocrisy. For instance, don't pray when it rains if you don't pray when the sun is shining. Let me say it again. Don't pray when it rains if you're not willing to pray when the sun is shining. Let go of putting everyone else's needs in front of your own. This is something I struggle with for a long time. Give as much as you can every day, but don't allow yourself to be used. And if you're like me, you get to a point where you get tired of being used or feeling used. And I just dealt with that over the holidays, leading up to the holidays, where I had someone who I considered a friend basically was using me. And then the one time that I was not there for them or could not be there for them, now mind you, if you're in St. Louis, you know we had some bad weather the Friday before last. And basically, it was accidents all over the place. And it just so happens that I wasn't able to be there for someone due to the weather. But because I wasn't there, I got blocked on Facebook. So you could be there for somebody 99 times, but for some reason they always remember that one time you wasn't there. And that's really asinine to me. But it is what it is, because I'm not losing no sleep. Because the old me would have been beating myself up and blaming myself as far as like, what did I do? Or beat myself up. So when I tell you I've come a long way, I've come a long, long way. Because I'm not losing no sleep over people that have walked away from me, that I know that I've been good to, that I know that I've held down. Because you don't do that to people. But that's all right, because karma is real. And if you don't believe me, keep living. Trust me, I know this. And what's crazy is that what you also need to do is let go. Let go of putting everyone else's needs in front of your own. Give as much as you can. Listen to others closely, but don't lose your own voice. Let go of fearing what your gut is telling you to do. Here's why. Because fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. I'm going to say it again. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. So don't let fear shut you down. Matter of fact, let it wake you up. Do one thing every day that's scary. The more you act on your intuition fearlessly, the more intuition will serve you. And if you genuinely feel something, pay attention to it. Don't just ignore it. And then also let go of waiting for the stars to align. Remember, you don't always need the perfect situation, or you don't always have to have everything line up in a straight line in order to get started with something. You don't always need the perfect plan. Sometimes you just need to give it a try, let go, and see what happens. Just do the best you can until you know better. And once you know better, you do better. And then, especially during this time of year, because I see it all on Facebook, let go of all negative influences, period. You can't expect to feel good if you surrounding yourself with negativity. Be with those who bring out the best in you, not the stress in you. Let go of the need to get everything done at once. Keep going. True purpose has no time limit. Once more, true purpose has no time limit. True purpose has no deadline. So don't stress and overwhelm yourself. Just do what you can right now. Why? Because your purpose is a marathon, not a sprint. And even with all the pain that I have experienced and endured in 2016, I've come a long way because there were a lot of things that I used to do that I learned to stop doing to myself. And so here are some of the things that you must stop doing to yourself. And some of these things that I want to say, you might be guilty of. A lot of these things I'm guilty of, or I've been guilty of. And so if these sound familiar to you, then let me know in the comment section, because, this is true, because this is all a growing process. Here are some of the things that I would tell anyone to stop doing. Stop running away from your problems. Stop running away from your problems. Why? Because you must face them head on. No, it won't be easy. There is no person in the world capable of flawlessly handling every punch that life throws at them. We aren't supposed to be instantly able to solve problems. That's not how we're made. In fact, when we are made to get upset, sad, humble, hurt, stumble, and fall. But that's the whole purpose of living. Ask yourself, are you living or are you existing? Because there is a difference. For a long time, I thought I was living, but it just so happens I was merely existing. See, for me, if I'm going to be honest, I didn't really start living until about the end of 2011, about this time, about 2011. So I was a late bloomer, but nevertheless, I'm there. I'm getting there. One day at a time, one step at a time. And then with the whole purpose of living, understand that problems are going to come up, but you got to learn how to face them and learn and adapt and solve them over the course of time. This is what ultimately molds us into the person that we ultimately become and the people that we are designed to be. Also, stop putting your own needs on the back burner. Stop putting your own needs on the back burner. The most painful thing is losing yourself in the process of loving somebody too much. And not forgetting that you are special too. That's why every time I get on Facebook in the morning, I say, good morning, champions. No matter how I'm feeling. And I might not be feeling like a champion at the moment. But I want to let people know that, yes, you are a champion. No matter what has happened to you. No matter how terrible your year has been. No matter how much of a character building experience it's been, you are still a champion. It's up to you to walk in that. And if you don't, you have nobody to blame but yourself. Because you can't say nobody told you. You know why? Because I just told you. And then also realize that forgetting, you don't forget that you're special too. Yes, help others, but help yourself too. What good are you to somebody else if you can't take care of yourself? If there was ever a moment to follow your passion and do something that matters to you, it would be now. For me, 2017 is going to be a selfish year. I'm just be honest. I'm just keep it 120 with you all. Your time will be invested in you. Your time must be invested in you on improving yourself to become a better person physically and mentally. And this is something that the next one I'm going to share is a huge one. Something that I was guilty of. Stop being scared to make mistakes. Stop being scared to make mistakes. Doing something and getting it wrong is at least 10 times more productive than doing nothing at all. Every success has a trail of failures behind it. And every failure is leading towards success. You end up regretting the things you did not do more than the things that you did do. That's right. 2017 it's got to be about improving you. And then also, when you make a mistake, stop berating yourself for old mistakes. We may love the wrong person and cry about the wrong things. But no matter how things go wrong, one thing is for certain and two things for sure. Mistakes help us find the person and things that are right for us. We all make mistakes. We all have struggles, and we even regret things in our past. But you are not your mistakes. No matter how people want to hold stuff over your head, you are not your mistakes. So stop walking in defeat or stop walking in failure. Why? Because you're not a failure. Because I'm sorry, I don't associate myself with failures. I don't. And even when I get knocked down, I didn't fail. The only way I can fail is to not even try. And I know a lot of people that give up before they even try. And I have no respect for them. They might as well just stay away from me. Realize you're not your mistakes. You're not your struggles. You are here now with the power to shape your day and your future. Every single thing that has ever happened in your life is preparing you for a moment that is still yet to come. Stop thinking you're not ready. Nobody ever feels 100% ready when an opportunity arises, because most great opportunities in life force us to grow beyond our comfort zones, which means we won't totally feel comfortable at first, but life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And then also, stop trying to compete with everybody else. Don't worry about what others are doing better than you. Concentrate on beating your own records every day. Success is a battle between you and yourself only. And then also, stop complaining and feeling sorry for yourself. Why? Because life's curveballs are thrown for a reason. What is the reason, you ask? I'm glad you asked. It's to shift your path in a direction that is meant for you. Nobody can walk in my shoes better than me. The same with you. Nobody can walk in your shoes better than you. You may not see everything. You may not see or understand everything as it happens. And it may be tough, but reflect back on those negative curveballs thrown at you in the past. You often see that eventually they led you to a better place, a better person, a better state of mind, a better situation. So smile. Let everyone know that today you are a lot stronger than you were yesterday, and you will be. And then finally, stop following the path of least resistance. Here's why. You can't continue to play it safe. Life is not easy, especially when you plan on achieving something worthwhile. Don't take the easy way out. Do something extraordinary. And a new year, we're going into, New Year's is this weekend. And a new year often signals a new beginning. And my biggest privilege is being born into a culture of hard work. If you define yourself as a victim of circumstance, you're probably going to live and die as one. So stop defining yourself in negative and limiting ways. Also, stop being afraid to see yourself as brave, bold, and courageous. I'm telling you what I know. Because there was a point where I was petrified to do what I'm doing now. And now it just becomes natural. So when I tell people that there was a time that I had fear there, they look at me like I'm crazy because they just feel like it's just natural. But sometimes people see stuff in you that you don't often see in yourself. That doesn't mean that it's not there. So stop being afraid to see yourself as brave, bold, and courageous. Stop allowing your old definitions to limit who or what you could become. Because what you are now is basically what you're becoming. Stop keeping your heart's desires locked away. You got to be careful with that. And instead, tell yourself and tell the world what your life is about. Not by talking the talk, but by living it. Declare to yourself, my life is my message. My question to you is, what kind of message do you want to leave behind? That's something I want you to think about as we count down the days, the final days of 2016. And as we look forward to and embrace 2017, because here's what I do know. You can't do the same thing that you did in 2016 and expect a different result. Even if you had a good year and you want to take it to another level, that means you're going to change some things. That means you're going to let go of some people. You're going to have to let go of some people. Because where you're going, where you're elevating, you're not elevating, you're not elevating straight up, which means you're probably elevating on an angle. And the problem is everybody is not going to go with you. It's more people at the bottom. But as you're ascending towards the mountaintop, some people are going to fall off. You got to get to the point where you have to accept that sometimes we make the mistake of putting temporary people in permanent positions. I'm guilty of that. And that's one of the things that I learned the hard way in 2016. So I'm mindful of it as we go into 2017. That everybody doesn't have your best interest at heart. And everybody that says that they're down for you is not down for you. Love is an action word. And at the end of the day, a person's love for you is defined by their actions. And it doesn't mean that you're going to do everything right. And if you think that they have to do everything right to prove that they love you, then something is seriously wrong with you. And you're going to set yourself up for a rude awakening. And oftentimes, you're going to find yourself by yourself. But nevertheless, and I'm a living witness to it, there's life after. As long as you don't give up, and as long as you don't lose sight of who you are and whose you are, then everything is going to work out for your good. And everything that you lost in 2016, the peace that you lost, you're going to get that back. You're going to get that back tenfold, 100-fold. And all this pain that you're dealing with, and I'm telling you this while I'm speaking over myself, all this pain that you have dealt with, that you ain't talked to people about in 2016, all it's doing is enhancing your testimony. So when you are ready to get out of your own way and you're willing to talk about it, the fact is you're going to be able to impact people that you never thought even cared or even thought that you would be able to impact. Why do I know this? Because of what I'm doing right now. Even in the midst of everything that I've gone through this year, and a lot of people still don't even know all the things I've gone through this year. Some people watching right now know exactly what I'm talking about. But nevertheless, I'm still here. And I can still smile. And I can still speak life. Regardless to how life has punched me in the mouth this year. I wouldn't wish what I've gone through on anybody. On anybody. But the fact that God has blessed me to be able to do what I'm doing now and make it clear for anybody to understand, it's nothing but the grace of God. I don't take credit for anything, for any type of impact I've had on someone. I don't give myself the credit. I just had to make myself available. And I had to be able to show somebody that everybody's not out to hurt you. Everybody's not out to take advantage of you. Everybody's not going to walk away from you. There are people that really care. And I'm telling you what I know, because I'm the living embodiment of it. So with that being said, I trust that you all have gotten something valuable out of what I shared tonight, after what I felt led to share with you all tonight as we go into 2017. 2016 has been a nightmare for me. But as my cousin just said, God gives his hardest battles to his toughest soldiers. And that's something that she shared with me privately. And that's true. And the reality is, I'll leave with something that one of my mentors, Les Brown, said. He said that life is going to undoubtedly knock you down. But if it knocks you down, when it knocks you down, make sure you land on your back. And here's why. Because if you can look up, you can get up. If you can look up, you can get up. So 2017, for many people, you're going to see a lot of people getting up. You're going to see a lot of people getting up. And ultimately, as my buddy Angela just said, there's never a testimony without a test. So that goes back to taking the path of least resistance. You can't keep doing that because you're avoiding being able to be a blessing to somebody else when you keep taking the path of least resistance. Stuff gonna come up. You can have your whole life planned out. Life will throw you a curveball. But it's how you respond to it that allows God to really get the glory out of it. Because where you are right now and what you've been able to overcome is not by your own strength. It's by what God has placed in you. And he never falls short on his word. And he never falls short on his promises. So I trust that you all got some value from me tonight. It's the last one of 2016. So when we reconvene next Tuesday, we're in a whole new year. And let 2016 stay in 2016. Whatever issues, problems, squash it or get it corrected. Don't carry that mess into 2017 because it's a new chapter, it's a new beginning, and and opportunities are going to open up that you never even dreamt about happening, or even opportunities that you always dreamt about happening. And so I want to thank you all for taking time out of your schedule to listen to me. I trust that it was valuable. I kept it together, kind of got a little emotional, but it is what it is. Because when it's genuine, when it's coming from the heart, it's going to reach the heart. And a lot of you all know my story. But I can just tell you that the best is still to come. So I'll be back next Tuesday, same time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 Central, on the next edition of the Motivation to Elevation podcast. God bless you all. End your 2016 on a positive note, and let's go into 2017, go into higher heights and deeper depths, and challenge each other to be the best version of ourselves. Once again, it's yours truly, Arian Tyson, the Moving Motivator, signing off. God bless.